I'm headed to Petit Jean Mountain State Park today to do a little hiking, probably on the Seven Hollows Trail. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning in December. And a lot of folks are around today. A little bit of a breeze blowing, but makes it feel good. If you've never been to Petit Jean State Park, you need to make a trip. Beautiful rock formations everywhere. And there's Mount Nebo State Park off in the distance. Pioneer Cabin. Was built in 1857. The trailhead for the Cedar Creek Self-Guided Trail. I don't plan on doing that today, but unless I have time, and I probably won't, I just stopped mainly to see the cabin. Small little cabin. One little window. Alright, we're about to do Seven Hollows Trail. This is the trail that has been open to rock climbing recently. So I wonder if we'll see some rock climbers. It's a 4.5 mile trail. And we'll follow the blue blazes. Straightaway so easy. Smooth and no rocks. Not used to that. We're used to rocks covered by leaves and twisting your ankles every which direction. This is nice and easy. Alright, we're going to go left here. Follow the trail. Through all of the stops. This will be clockwise. I think it's about 42 degrees whenever I started. Supposed to be about up to around 52 today, I believe. I started at 10:45. It says it's supposed to be a 4.5 hour hike. We'll see how long it takes. I guess they're assuming you'll go 1 mile an hour, and with all the stops and the views, that could be right. Normally, if I'm just hiking, especially on something this level and clear, big old rock, I'll go around 2 miles an hour, maybe a little more on something like this. Jeez. It's hard to get a idea of just how big that is. Climbing zone, I'm not going there. I'm sticking to the trail. I think there are 10 points of interest on the trail. Start at stop A and go through J. So as we go, I'll try to tell what they are, which one we're at. Ooh, this looks like scratches made by a bear. Because here's my foot, and there are the scratches. Ooh, hope it stays. Away from me. All right. This is stop A. Made it a half a mile. See all the rocks in the background. Well, on the map it does not show what this is necessarily, but I'm sure it's these rock formations around us. There's some more little cave indention areas underneath them. Few roots through here. I gotta pay attention to where I'm going. Old Dan and I did this trail probably getting close to 30 years ago when our kids were small. And honestly, I don't remember much about it other than the grotto part. So it's like, almost like everything's brand new because it's been so long since I've been on it. Old Dan is working today. He when we came in from doing trail maintenance Saturday, he ended up with a stomach virus, which he caught from our granddaughter who had been at our house Thursday and Friday with a stomach virus. So he's just gradually getting over that. And I'm out here doing a solo. Kind of get out of the house and kind of get tired of going to the fitness center and lifting weights and using the elliptical. I'd rather get out and I have to go to this side little cave up here. So I'm getting out and Get a little exercise in nature today. I guess this kind of thing's what makes this trail 4.5 hours. You can't just stay right on the trail. You gotta get off and look at all the things on the side. I wish he was with me. That way you could get a idea of just how big and tall these rocks are. Oh, these are cool. Those designs are all in the top of this cave too. You can see that there have been many campfires over the years in here. From the black soot on the rocks, people have graffitied them, but sure there's lots of historical information here. These are right along the edge of the trail. Wow, that's a pretty little creek crossing. If the water was running, it'd be even prettier. As usual, the camera does not do the terrain and the landscape justice. You need to get out here and see it for yourself to get the full effect. Let's warm it up. At least to me. It's still cool out, but hiking warms you up really quick. If you do decide to come do this trail, you need to stop as you go past rocks and look back, because there's something different from every angle. Awesome things to see. We're coming up on stop B, which is 1 mile. I don't know if it's that cave right up there. Possibly. I'm not going to go off trail to this one. I'm going to keep on trucking. There's another. I need to come when I have a lot more time. There's another cave right up there you could go explore. And just everywhere. I don't remember all of these before. There's one there. One there. Let's see if I can, there we go. You can see a little bit better there. More down to the sides. They're just everywhere. I think I could make this hike last more than 4.5 hours if I had the time to do it. Just by going off and exploring all the rock outcrops and caves, and I can see why in many of these caves up here there are well, I can't think of the name of it. I call it Indian graffiti. Where the Indians have drawn on the walls and written on the walls. I'm sure they used a lot of this area because there was a lot of, I guess I took the wrong route here. There was a lot of shelter if they needed it. Here's a neat place. There's shelter on the bottom. And then, like I said, I gotta watch these rocks. Too much sightseeing going on. Shelter on the bottom. Wow, look at those rocks. And then up probably 20, 25 feet, there's another shelter up there. Oh, that's probably that's probably 30 feet or more up. Big old rock. Some cool rocks up there, but the way the sun's shining, it would be hard to see them probably. I might can get over here. Oh, I can't see them from there. But you can see this little area. The trail goes down below. I think I'm going to take a side cut through here. Look, angled. To get through. And the trail comes along right over there. I went through that. Oh, wow. Just beautiful. back on the trail now. And let's see, a lot of people have gone up above this big pillar, but I see it goes right below it. All right, Stop C, Natural Bridge. Oh, man, this rock pillar was part of it. Right above me. I didn't even notice. Get off over here and get a better angle. I was up underneath it too much to see it very well. Let's see if I can get the sun and the bridge all together. It's amazing how big that is, how awesome that is, and I don't even remember it from the last time I was here. I wonder if we came up on it from the other side and just noticed the big rock pillar and didn't turn around and look behind us and see that there's a rock bridge there. There probably wasn't a sign at that time. Very cool. And this was Stop C. Well, I made it to D. Not sure what D is. The trail goes up this long slanted rock. And in the briars, try not to get eaten alive. Maybe this is turtle rocks, possibly. Look like the backs of turtles. Okay, I'm at the mile marker 2. Pretty sure I'm just above the grotto. Looks like it's down there in that valley. It looks kind of like what I remember. And I hear people down there, so I guess we'll see in a minute. Okay, covers that. The grotto's down there in that valley, just like I thought. Stop E. And when I come back out, I'll go right up those rocks on. So here we head off to the grotto. 0.25 miles. think I missed the turn off, which is what a bunch of people have done. I went off down through there. I should have went up across the top. Ooh. Oh, come on. All right, I'm gonna have to turn this off. I can't walk and video at the same time. They don't think. Had to slide down on my hiney on that. There's the blue mark, so we're still on track. Okay, this is the only part of this trail that I truly remember. Nice shelter and water source together. This is a very, very, very large shelter overhang. When we were here before, like I said, it's been probably 30 years ago, if not more. The water was running bigger than it is today. Very pretty area. Looks like the frost has already got to the fern. Alright. Guess I gotta make my way out of here now. Grotto's done. Alright, here we are at F. And I'm assuming it's probably this rock formation here. 2.5 miles. More climbing. Something I didn't notice when I was going through the grotto. A lot of times in the trail, they'll have these little notched out footholds for you. Where I slid down the rock earlier, if I'd have just noticed there was 2 of those for me to put my feet in and go down a little more graceful. This is, I guess, a little bridge, natural bridge that we're going to walk across now. I'm surprised this was not one of the lettered stops. Very pretty area. Seems like one of the stops is called the Narrows. That may be what this is, but I still haven't seen a letter denoting it. Well, down here is a letter G, I think. G. Let's see what the blue sign says. I guess it's 1.5 miles if you're going back the opposite direction. So that means I must have 1.5 miles to go. It's hard to video and walk in these rocks at the same time. So I basically just hold the camera up and hope I get a good shot. Well, I kind of watch where I'm stepping. Been going up for the last little bit, so I'm breathing fairly hard, but hated to not video since it's so pretty. More huge tall bluffs and outcroppings. It's all along here. All right, let's see if there's anybody climbing today. could see why this would be climbing zone. Lots of bluffs. Well, I've about decided a lot of these are just mile markers. H 3.5 means I have a mile to go. I hear voices. So the people I heard were down that way. They appeared to be climbers. Had climbing gear with them and helmets. But they weren't climbing at the time. They were just sitting and visiting. So I didn't get to video anybody climbing. Well, there's water dripping. And I see icicles laying. Don't want one of those to hit me on the head. All right, we're coming up on I, which is another good overhang shelter. There's I, and across from us, another, looks like what could be cave. Oh wow, here's a bigger one. I may have to go over to that one. Lots of traffic been going over there. Pretty steep here in this last little bit. That's a very good shelter there. Very deep. I'm guessing that that rock shelter over there is what I is. That's where I just went to with you. All right, we're coming up on J. That's the last point. I think this is where we meet the Boy Scout trail. Boy Scout trail goes that way. And I think it is one with the Seven Hollows trail for a little bit. This section has both trails. All right, 4 miles. Half a mile to go. Needless to say, I've slowed way down. I think I'll probably finish in about 3 hours instead of 4.5. Lots of side trails though. Lots of things to stop and look at. Alright. Done. There's my truck. And the Boy Scout trail goes on off over there. Alrighty. Thank y'all for going along with me today.